Oh, good morning, Gators. Today I'm bringing you my rant video. This is just a collection of a few things that kind of drive me crazy about restaurants. I'm going to jump right in so there's not a bunch of chit-chat. One of the things that I really dislike about restaurants is big menus. I don't like a bunch of choices. I don't like a bunch of do-it-yourself skillets and omelets and with 100 ingredients. And the reason for this is a selfish one. It's really not good to have a whole bunch of ingredients laying around in the kitchen. The less they have, the fresher the stuff's going to be, and the faster they're going to go through it. So when you see a menu that looks short to you, this is a good thing. When you go to a restaurant and they've got 8 pages of stuff, this is just really not a good idea. The other plus for not having a whole bunch of menu choices is that the restaurant owners aren't throwing a bunch of food out and wasting it, which is also, a big problem in this country is we waste a lot of food. And that's one more way to not have that happen. French toast. What can I say about French toast? I have a long history of ordering French toast in restaurants and getting a lot of really lousy French toast. They don't let the bread stay in the batter long enough to soak up any of the liquid. So this causes the inside of the French toast to be bready and dry. So it just makes for bad French toast. I understand when the restaurant's busy, they don't want to take the time, but when they have the time, they can at least make an attempt at making it the right way. And because they don't let the bread soak in the batter, they just kind of flop it in there and flop it over and throw it on the grill. It's like a piece of white bread with an egg flap on the outside of it. Just not very appealing. If you're going to charge $10 for 2 slices of bread, it should be made the right way. Who doesn't love pancakes? Man, everybody loves pancakes. Well, probably everybody. Anyway, if you're going to have a breakfast restaurant, and especially if you're going to call yourself a pancake house, you need to make your own pancakes. All these places that make mixed pancakes, and even some really nice places use pre-mixed pancakes, and you can spot them. They all taste the same. And I just really feel like if you're going to have a breakfast only place or breakfast and lunch place maybe, that you should have really good homemade pancakes. Speaking of pancakes, let's talk about syrup. Artificial maple syrup should be banned. They shouldn't even serve it. Or if you're going to serve it, and you want to charge extra for real maple syrup, great. I'll pay the extra for it. So there are places I've been to that will offer you the real stuff and charge you for it. Personally, I think they should just raise the price of pancakes and give you real syrup. There's just no substitution. Especially if you're going to charge $11 or $12 for pancakes, there's no reason why you can't serve real syrup. And on the subject of syrup, those Drippy International pancake joint pitchers with the little metal flaps on the top, those things should not be allowed in restaurants. They're always either sticky, or you can't open them, or they don't work right, or you go to pour syrup out of them and water pours out from around the rim because they gave you a clean one, which is nice, I suppose. Not if it's going to drip water on your pancakes. They shouldn't use those things at all. I'd rather have them just give me the bottle than give me one of those things. But anyway, there's a million things you can put syrup in. You don't have to put them in those little pitchers. Let's talk about toast, specifically unbuttered toast. I know this is one of those things that is a personal opinion. My personal opinion is toast should be buttered, first of all, and it should be served that way. It should come out of the kitchen pre-buttered. If you don't want butter on your toast, tell them you don't want butter on your toast. But especially because I go to restaurants early in the morning, they put that hard little cubes of butter on the table. They give you toast, which is usually cold anyway, on top of it. You can't spread the butter on the toast. So it just, all it does is just make for an unpleasant toast experience. There's no reason to not give you buttered toast. Let's talk about salt. That iodized salt in those salt shakers they give you at restaurants is the worst salt ever. It tastes like chemicals. It's too salty. They shouldn't serve it at all. First of all, you shouldn't have to salt anything anyway. It should be salted in the kitchen. You shouldn't have to add it. But if you do, there's no excuse for them not to use a good, inexpensive sea salt. There's just no reason for them not to give you decent salt. Well, now that we've covered salt, let's cover pepper. Pepper in that sneeze powder that they serve you on the table, terrible stuff. It's just hot. It doesn't have any flavor. Nowadays, with all these disposable pepper grinder things available, put one of those on the table. Get rid of that sneeze powder. Eggs. Eggs are a miracle. I really think that it's one of those foods that it's just it just amazes me how good they are. And when they're cooked properly, there's nothing like it. When they're cooked improperly, I'd rather not even have them. Some people like their eggs cooked to death. I don't get it. I think it's terrible, but there's nothing I can do about it. Now, on the other side of that overcooked egg business is undercooked eggs. Undercooked eggs are just kind of gross, I think. I know some people like super undercooked eggs. I guess it depends on what your definition of undercooked is. I like over medium eggs. I like poached eggs, but I don't like eggs when they're not cooked and they're so uncooked that they're clear. They're just gross. If you're going to have a breakfast restaurant or breakfast lunch restaurant, you need to have people that work in the kitchen that know how to make eggs, period. They just should know how to make them. Dirty silverware. Oh my God. Why would you even put it on the table? The people that put the tableware out, if it's dirty, don't put it on the table. It's that easy. There's just something about sitting down at a place and either unwrapping the silverware or looking at the silverware and having it be dirty. Just don't put it on the table. Gunky plates. Take a second to wipe the plates off. Before you serve it, there should be a bunch of gooey gunk on the sides of the plates or a bunch of fingerprints where you know somebody's had their thumb inside of that plate. They need to wipe those plates off before they give them to you. No excuse. It takes 2 seconds to do it, and it makes all the difference in the world for presentation. Serving food on metal sheet trays is just a bad idea. They're just like heat magnets. They just pull the heat right out of the food, and your food is cold in no time. I know it's trendy. I know it's kind of a thing right now. A lot of barbecue places especially do it, but it's just a bad idea. Skillets in dog bowls. That's another thing I don't like. It's the same problem. Those metal bowls that look like that sometimes they have little handles on them. First of all, to me they look like something you give a dog. And second of all, so I have sort of an issue with that. But the main issue is the same problem. The food gets cold so fast that you order a nice skillet and in 5 minutes it's freezing cold. I I don't know who started this trend with this metal serving utensils, but they need to stop. Let's talk about coffee. Some of you may know that I used to own a coffee house, so I'm kind of fussy with coffee. Probably not as fussy as I used to be. I probably drink a lot of coffee now that I would never drink in the past, so I've relaxed my standards a little bit. The weak coffee in breakfast places, oh, terrible. It seems like a lot of owners of these places just don't like coffee because if they did, they wouldn't serve the stuff that they serve. I'm not expecting them to serve $20 half pound coffee, but there's a lot of halfway decent coffee out there that's not super expensive. There's no reason why, with a little bit of investigation, that they couldn't serve you decent coffee. Carpeting in restaurants. I really don't understand carpeting in restaurants. It's disgusting. All the food that's dropped on those carpets during the course of the day, and food and liquids and beverages and stuff that gets ground into those carpets, you're never going to get it out with a vacuum cleaner. It's like a breeding ground for bacteria and grossness. Carpeting in restaurants? No way. All of these rants are also available on my website, www.breakfastgator.com, and also other reviews and stuff. You can check that out. Well, that's it for now, Gators. If you have any agreements or disagreements, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Please subscribe to the videos if you would, so you'll stay up to date with my newest stuff. Also, follow me on Facebook, Breakfast Gator, and on Instagram. When I go out and do my reviews, I take pictures live. It's also Breakfast Gator on Instagram. So do that. And that'll do it for now. Thanks for watching.